Hello, friends. Today we're going to go over Circle Internet Group. You might have noticed if you have a Coinbase account, they ask you to hold USDC instead of just normal US dollars. USDC is what's called a stablecoin. This is probably old news to you. It's pegged to the value of a dollar, and there was USD Tether. Different companies make these stablecoins. There's stablecoins on different chains, and this one in particular, Circle Internet Group, is called USDC. Tether made USDT, which is USD Tether. So Circle Internet Group is kind of the one that's going to be America's, it appears, the de facto USD stablecoin that is approved and has the blessing and what have you of the United States government, which should mean that at some point the stock will go through the roof. Now, I watched this IPO at, I want to say in the 30s, and I was like, we'll see what happens. And it went up to like $300. As you can see here, I'll actually drag this over and do a little price range tool here. And of course, it's hidden behind my face. But I think I know where it is by now, right? So 367%. If you put $33 in this thing, you had 300. Because this is not indicative, right? The IPO price, if you go look, was 33, something along those lines. Anyway, getting off track here. It went up, and I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for it to come down to around this level because I'm a psychic genius and I can get a great deal on this stock, and I'm smarter than everybody else. Well, as you can see, my plan worked. And then it worked a little bit. I was looking pretty good here for a minute, and we went from here to there, and I was like, I'm up 47%, baby. I'm Gucci like Scaramucci. And then we had a little dip, and I said, okay, high or low, no big deal. And we went up again, and at this point I was up about 30%. I said, okay, that's nothing to sneeze at. Didn't take any profit, anything. Obviously, dumb decision because in the next, between October 27th and November 20th, I watched whatever I had in this disintegrate. And I went from netting 47% up here to a loss of 40%. Quite the swing, I'd say. So, I've been waiting for this thing since September 5th of 2025 for 5 months-ish to come back to life. And we're going to check the EKG on this thing today and see what we think. So, obviously, whenever you see a chart like this, it's only been around since June, 7 months, and there's very limited data. It's almost impossible to chart versus going to an old dividend stock like a Berkshire Hathaway, a Google, Microsoft, Corning, Pfizer, Campbell's Soup, Procter and Gamble, you name it, right? So this is kind of a new kid on the block, and we're going to look and see exactly, what we can get out of this in the next minute or so. So it's kind of come to rest. You'll notice that the all-time low was 64 on the button that's recorded because, like we said, the IPO is lower, but it's not on the chart for whatever reason. Hold our shift key. I'm going to bring it straight across, and if you'll notice, this doesn't quite touch. Well, zoom in a little bit, shall we? Okay. Just doesn't quite touch. So what we do is now use the command key or control key if you're on Windows, and we make it stick to the bottom of that candle, right? I do not want a shortcut. I'm showing people things. Thank you. So high or low, that was a good sign, right? And if you keep on trucking over here, you can keep that high or low there, and this thing could, now it's been consolidating for, I'm not going to sit there and manually count. I think that's date range back there. But it has been in this same old range for 48 days. So that's what I'd call a healthy consolidation. And if it is in fact putting in a bottom here, if it does in fact make yet another higher low, and I'll just make a fresh line here since we're all zoomed in, right? If it does not break down below here, or even better yet, if it stays there and just bounces from there, this was a gap fill that it needed to fill. Stocks like to do that when they leave a gap. You can see there's a gap there, right? When they leave a gap, these stocks like to go back and fill it. And it filled the gap this week. I wouldn't let this scare me because, well, that's a made up level right now. It means nothing. But I wouldn't let this scare me yet. Once it gets down, if it gets down below this line, then I'm worried. If it sort of settles in and stays above, let's say above 66, and it makes what's technically a higher low, so whatever next low this makes, if it's above $64.92, I would feel pretty comfortable starting to conservatively move into a long position here with Circle Internet Group. I believe long term, if you're looking at this thing through a lens of an investor's lens, if you're saying, crypto, blockchain, Web3, this infrastructure, whatever you want to call it, if you're saying it's the future and you're looking at it through a very, very long lens, this is an effing bargain, in my personal opinion. Nothing I say is ever financial advice. I don't tell anyone else what to do. I'm telling you what I'm thinking and what I'm doing. With that said, guys, if you got value out of this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.